Hi everyone, I'm Arthur E. Benjamin, founder of American Dog Rescue, and I'm here with Bandit. Farrah White's on assignment today, so we're going to have this great show with the two of us and one of the hardest working animal rescuers in all of North Texas. Tawana Couch is founder of the Society for Companion Animals, and she's here today to tell us what she does for dogs and for dogs in Texas.
Good.
Welcome.
Welcome. And thank you for having me on the show.
Pleasure.
And I am president of Society for Companion Animals, and we mostly rescue dogs and fly them to other parts of the country. And last year alone, we rescued close to 400 dogs, lots of dogs. We rescue off the streets and in shelters, and we just recently have expanded all over the state of Texas, rescuing dogs from rural areas out in the country. In fact, tomorrow we have a shelter from Brownwood, Texas. I think it's about a 3-hour drive from Dallas, maybe in the middle of nowhere. They have vetted all the dogs, have got their health certificates ready to fly, and they are driving a whole big vehicle full of dogs, at least 10 dogs, to Dallas tomorrow for us to put on a plane next week to New York at the Hamptons. So they'll go get adopted.
Well, that's a great one for you, but you know, the thing that amazes me about you is all the time you spend on the streets of Dallas. And I can't imagine how you do it because the areas you went to are dangerous.
Right. This morning I was up at 5 a.m. and I got in my car and I ride the streets and look for, wild dogs or dogs that are lost or homeless. And, and it's a project. You can't always get them right away, but, it's a work in progress, and we pick them up off the street. In fact, I had a lady call me today, and she's like, Tawana, I lost my dog. You think you can help me find my dog? I said, well, I'll be looking on the streets.
I know you've been in risky situations, and I don't think people understand fully what somebody like you does. Could you share one of the risky situations with us, just so we get a flavor of it?
Well, it's several kinds of risk. You have a risk not knowing the animal. Is it going to be friendly? Is it not going to be friendly? Is it going to come after you? I've had a couple cases where I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get that dog, and next thing I know, the dog turns and they don't realize I'm trying to help, and they're ready to bite me or something. So I have to be extra cautious on that with the animals. And then you also have areas of town where it's not necessarily the best areas, some of the roughest areas, some areas that, it's not uncommon to see, drugs and prostitutes. In fact, the other morning I was out driving and there was a dog, and next to the dog was the prostitute, and she wasn't quite fully clothed that morning. And it's like, so you don't know what you're going to see out there. And then the pimp's across the street, and it's like, okay, dog, pimp, prostitute,
that sounds dangerous enough.
Yeah, so, you don't know what's going to be in hand there, and I literally have had even, a car run me down and ask, what are you doing over here, what's happening here, and then but a lot of people get familiar with me, and they actually look after me. They're like, God, you're a brave woman for coming around here. You're either brave or crazy, so I don't know which one I am. But, I've got to go where those dogs need help, so I just, I figure there are a lot of dog angels out there watching over me or something, all right?
Well, your organization survives on donations, and I'm just curious, of the percentage of people who give, how many give to animal organizations? Do you have any idea?
Yes, there was actually a gentleman by the name of Peter Marsh who did some research on that a while back. I don't know if there's any more current, but it hadn't been that long ago. And what he found out was that only 1% of charity money actually goes toward dog and cats. It's like 3% go to zoo animals, and that's kind of the animal arena area, and then other things go for other types of charities. So we're looking at only like 1% that really is dedicated to dogs and cats.
We're so close to our dogs and cats.
Right, and you would think it would be a lot more.
You would think it would be a lot more. Why do you think it's so difficult for animal rescue organizations to raise money?
Well, I think it is partly that way because, there are other things that people have interest in, maybe, more so than dogs and cats. And it's limited number of foundations and different things that are set up for that. And we're very fortunate with Society for Companion Animals that we have American Dog Rescue Foundation that helps us. And then we have a Communities Foundation of Texas, Luthope Foundation, Doc and Boom. Yeah, Doc and Boom. I'm not always good with my words here. And, Sakowitz Foundation. So we have, Rescue Paw Foundation. So we have about 7 foundations that do help me and, help us, Society for Companion Animals. But, out of the big, huge pictures, I'm sure there are a lot more foundations. But those are the ones that we really have someone set up and does the research and does our grants and things and works very, very hard at it. And those are ones that we have been able to count on in the past.
But you can't really just survive on that. You count on donations from viewers like ours and people that you meet on the street. And
Absolutely. Yeah, because the foundations are great, but it's to really run a nonprofit and to really keep ahead of the game here. You have to have the foundations. You have to have individuals. You have to have, we have things set up where some of people that donate have companies they work for that actually add additional funds for us, and that helps. And then we have 2 businesses that you can go shop at the Antique Gallery of Mesquite. We have a booth there set up. You can actually shop there or you can donate items there, and they don't necessarily have to be antiques. And all the proceeds go to us, and they are nice enough to give us a free space. And then we have Sambuca Restaurant where we have a fundraiser every year, and they donate their entire restaurant, food, wait staff, everything, and that's critical for us. And that's where, a big part of our money comes from is the big fundraiser that we do, and it's the first weekend in April, and it's always Sunday from 5 to 8.
And where
so mark your it's going to be at Sambuca out in Plano.
Okay, so the Sambuca in Plano.
Sambuca
really
in
nice
Plano.
restaurant. It'll be a great party. I've been to the Sambucas before for their support of you, and it's really great.
Oh, yeah, and we have literally an average of 200 silent auction items and everything imaginable, and everybody gets great deals. Everybody's happy.
Well, let's be sure to get this date in again. It's on
That first Sunday of April.
first Sunday of April, and it's 5 to 8
5 to 8 p.m.
at Sambuca in Plano.
Right, and it's also
That's great.
called 360 Grill. It kind of goes by Sambuca 360 Grill, so I don't know how it's listed on the internet, but it's part of Sambuca, absolutely.
Well, you do amazing work. I mean, truly amazing work. We're happy to support you. The dogs that you pick up and ship out of state to places that they're really wanted so that they're not euthanized here, it's incredible work, Tawana. Just keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to learn more about what Tawana does, visit her website. Go to societyforcompanionanimals.org. Tawana's going to stick around because there's another big part of what she does you're going to find out about, rescuing injured animals. We're going to meet a few of those looking for a new home on the next segment of For the Love of Dogs, so stay with us.
Every year, families in North Texas unknowingly spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of neglect, abuse, and disease. When you buy a puppy from a parking lot or flea market, you could be supporting the cruelty of puppy mills that profit from dogs bred in abusive conditions. Help us stop the cycle. To learn how, go to spca.org/no-puppy-mills and take the puppy pledge.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
My name is Teresa. This is Scooter.
My name is Amber. This is Duke.
I'm Dr. Dixon, and this is Annie.
I'm Emily. This is Jackson.
I'm Kelsey, and this is Skittles.
My name is Miko. This is Chloe.
My name is Ty. This is Callie.
My name is Tamar. This is Simon.
My name is Renee. This is Snowball.
My name is Dr. Miller. This is Fletcher.
My name is Eric. This is Sport.
My name is Stacy, and this is Britches.
And I'm a pet lover first.
And I am a pet lover first.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back. You're watching For the Love of Dogs. Our show today is dedicated to one of the great animal rescue organizations in Dallas and around the state, the Society for Companion Animals. And it's all about what they do for the Dallas-Fort Worth community. Tawana Couch, Judy Thurman, and Lori Dean are here with us today. All are committed to helping through the Society for Companion Animals, and they brought a friend with them.
Yes.
Who's this friend?
This is Katie.
Hi, Katie. Katie's a doll. How long has she been with you? And tell us a little bit about Katie.
Well, we rescued her about a month ago, about 5 weeks. I think she's been in my home. And we rescued her from her foster, Judy. And we said she's an answer to a prayer at our house.
Hi.
My mother passed away unexpectedly, and we have 2 other dogs at home, but not lap dogs, not interested, and I wanted something that would cuddle, and Katie is perfect for me.
And we have another animal that looks somewhat like Katie, a little larger, a little bit more Lhasa looking, but tell us about Bart.
Bart is my foster, and I've had him about 3 months, I guess. He was hit by a car, picked up off the street, taken to the shelter, and had a huge gash in his side, and underneath his chin was cut and his nose was scraped off, and Tawana saw him at the shelter and pulled him out. He's had to have 2 surgeries. He is the sweetest dog. He has a crazy personality.
And I understand he loves kids.
He loves children. Just every time he sees a little kid, he runs over to him and jumps on him. So he's a really nice dog. Very smart, too.
What was Katie like when you first met her?
Katie had no hair on her head, her face, and down her chest and legs, and just afraid of everything. Tawana handed her to me, and I put her outside and went back to get her from the outside, and she was back by the very back fence and was scared to death of me. So it took me about 2 weeks to get her to let me even touch her.
Katie, you're a movie star. Do you know that? Tawana, how many dogs do you rescue that are injured? What percent?
I would say we usually run between probably about 10 to 12 a year, about a dozen a year injuries.
So a dozen out of 300 or 400. So
yes.
not that great a number.
Right.
But what kind of injuries are these? What kind of injuries do you see?
We do get a lot of dogs that are hit by cars. And then we get dogs like Katie, which I say it's, she doesn't have a physical injury per se. She had mange, but there's mental injuries. There's psychological injuries that an animal has gone through so much psychological, mental, that's kind of a mental injury, and it's it's a mental handicap that she had to work to overcome. And she's done fabulous. So when I first rescued her, I'll never forget, she was at the shelter, and she and 2 other adult dogs, her siblings, 5 nursing puppies, all of them were crammed in a crate, a filthy, nasty crate that didn't even have a door to it. But they were so terrified, and these owners brought them in this way, that they were so terrified they were scared to even come out of the crate. Katie was the worst shape. She literally wanting to bite and everything, don't take me out. That was her comfort zone. No telling how long she'd been crammed in that horrible crate. And the mange was severe. So psychologically, the injuries of the mental, thing was just, could she ever overcome it? And I really didn't know if she could, because it wasn't just the mange. It was being, the psychological trauma that no telling how long she had been, Jan.
So how do you rehab, any one of you, how do you rehab and treat the skin and psychological issues?
Well, she was on medication, and it depends on the dog. Sometimes if they won't even come in the house because they're afraid to cross the threshold, I just feed them outside, and I keep moving the food closer and closer to the door. With Katie, I just left her alone, and I chase her down and pick her up and hold her in my lap and pet her and put her in the crate, and she just got, after probably 4 or 5 weeks, she got to where she would trust me.
So it must be really expensive to treat skin issues.
Yeah, for Katie, we went, how many months? She had to go to 2 different veterinarians. It was a long process. Judy, how many months was it?
Probably 4 or 5.
5 months that she was, because part of the mange that she had, a lot of it can still kind of come back due to stress. And so any type of stress that she would endure, the mange would come back. And that was our fear every time, trying to find someone to adopt her that wouldn't stress her out, and then she breaks out again. So when Lori came to adopt her, we were like, wow, this is what she needs, a non-stress environment. Yeah, because that is something that a dog that's been that stressed in their life and suffer from that particular mange, they can just have, outbreak.
Well, let's show a couple of your other dogs, Goldie, Heidi, Lacey, and Summer. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about each of the dogs, so that, just short.
Oh, yeah. Heidi was a dog that found off the freeway, and bless her heart, a car had ran over her leg. And I had never seen, the leg was totally stuck out like this, totally flat. There was no foot. And so she had to maneuver on the streets and find food with a leg that was totally straight out. It took 2 days to trap her. We finally got her trapped, and we had to amputate her leg. Lacey was found in the alley, and she had a broken leg, and we got her fixed up. And this little guy, he was, I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, he came in with an injury at the shelter, and we had to amputate his leg, and he went on to Middletown, New York, where they adopted him right away. I can't always remember the names when you rescue almost 400 dogs.
Well, everything you do is great, ladies. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do for the dogs of Dallas, Fort Worth, and now other cities. Again, go to societyforcompanionanimals.org for any information about their rescue program. And we're going to take a break while you do that. Send them some money, and we'll come back and talk about our rescue story of the week. Stay tuned.
Yes.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Crow, and I'm a musician and a mother, and this is Buttercup. She's also a mother, but not by choice. She's a survivor of a puppy mill. Buttercup spent her life in a dirty wooden hutch, forced to produce litter after litter. She never went to a veterinarian or a groomer. She never had a soft spot to rest or a kind touch. She existed this way in cruel isolation year after year. Puppy mills are mass production factories where mother dogs suffer their entire lives, producing nearly 100% of puppies sold in pet stores and on the internet. When these dogs are no longer able to produce, they are often destroyed. Buttercup's nightmare ended the day Animal Rescue Corps saved her life. She finally knows what it means to have a loving family, but for the millions of dogs suffering in the estimated 15,000 puppy mills across the United States, this nightmare continues. Animal Rescue Corps and I ask you to visit your local shelter or rescue when choosing your next animal companion. You will not only be saving a life, you will be helping put an end to this cruel industry. Please go to animalrescuecorps.org to learn more about ending puppy mills. Buttercup and I thank you.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Every year, families in North Texas unknowingly spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of neglect, abuse, and disease. When you buy a puppy from a parking lot or flea market, you could be supporting the cruelty of puppy mills that profit from dogs bred in abusive conditions. Help us stop the cycle. To learn how, go to spca.org/no-puppy-mills and take the puppy pledge.
Welcome back. Time now for our rescue story of the week. And it's an exciting one. This week is also from the Society for Companion Animals. Amazing. Danielle Thornton adopted Stanley after his journey back from injury. Both are here to tell Stanley's story. So, how did you first come to meet and find Stanley?
Well, I was actually driving to work one day, and I was in the South Dallas area, and it was like probably 106 degrees. It felt much hotter than that in the middle of July. And I saw Stanley walking down the side of the road. He had a little gimp leg, and his ribs were showing. And so I pulled over to give him some water and maybe some food. And I just looked into his eyes, and it was just over from there. So.
And you always have water and food with you?
Yeah. I do. I keep like a big bag of dog food in my trunk and some containers for water. So.
He's a very fortunate little guy that you came along. What condition was he in?
He was in really bad condition. He was starving. He was dehydrated. His ribs were all out. His leg was hanging by a thread. His teeth were hanging out. Obviously, he had been hit by a car. You know, he had bugs all over him and stickers and grass, and he was.
What did the doctor say about his prognosis?
Well, the doctor said that, you know, his leg, there were several torn ligaments and broken stuff all in his leg. And so they said typically amputation would be the best option. So
did you have the amputation?
We had the amputation.
Stanley, show off your little amputation. It's amazing how well this dog runs and barks and jumps and.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even know he has 3 legs. I mean, he is so fast and jumps, unfortunately, on everything. But yeah, he has a lot of spunk to him for sure. It doesn't hold him back.
Did you adopt him right away, or were you his foster?
Well, I was his foster.
Foster failure.
In denial. Yeah. I have another dog named Milton, and I took him home, and I said, he's going to recover here. We'll find him another good home. And he and Milton just got along so well that they fell in love with each other, and I fell in love with Stanley, so it kind of fit. So we decided to keep him.
So, would you say Stanley can keep up with any dog his size?
Oh, he can not only keep up with any dog his size, he is faster than most dogs his size.
It's amazing how well
Absolutely.
animals adapt to the changes that they have to go through sometimes. Tawana, is this typical of a three-legged dog?
Yes. And, you know, I see it all the time because amputation, it happens. A lot of times it happens where the injury is so severe that they have to, you know, get their legs amputated. And it's like they do just fine. And they, you know, it's like, boom, they're back on all three.
I don't know if you remember, but Bandit, when he was rescued, couldn't use his rear legs at all, and he was rehabbed. Luckily, he didn't lose any of them, but he's still double jointed in the back. He lays with his legs out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what they can do. And one of my dogs was actually shot in the back and looks like a big version of Stanley. And he's, you know, she's crippled in the back, but people will see us at White Rock Lake running and everything, and she's a little wobbly, but, you know, hey, she exercises, she has muscles. Wouldn't know it, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing Stanley's story with us today. What a great story.
Sure, thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of our special guests for what they do for dogs here in North Texas. For the love of dogs, you can go online to AmericanDogRescue.org, and you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. For all of us at The Love of Dogs TV, thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next week.